Yay! Here we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna let everybody in just a moment. We had a little baby technical glitch today, which is that we needed to send this baby over here. Okay, YouTube link. And then we're also gonna fix it right here. Edit this title and description. Okay, babies. Thank you so much for your patience. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of you there, and you're gonna come in just a minute. Okay. Enter, 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 enter. Oh, fun. Oh, admit all. Enter, 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 everyone. Enter. Yay. Okay. So, welcome one, welcome all. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dale. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you. So we did have one little technical difficulty, which we've now solved. So it involved sending this to that, sending this stream to the YouTube stream. So here we are for the New Moon Zoom. I'm thrilled to talk to each of you guys. We're going to begin today with just a little intro about, hang on, let's see. Yes. So we're going to be doing a little intro today that is, funnily enough, was not inspired by Walter Mercado, but now that I've seen the Walter Mercado documentary, it's become very clear how pretty much everything we do over here at Edible Spirit is inspired by Walter Mercado in one way or another. We did watch them when we were a kid. We did get to see them from time to time. So for those of you who are tuning in who are not up on that Edible Spirit tip, so you all know, we work as a channel. So before we started this Zoom for you, this New Moon Zoom, this new format from Edible Spirit, we called in all of our spirits, all of our guides, and thanks to our special guest, we called in Source directly into the pit of our guts. Can't wait to introduce you to our guest. But for now, we are going to dive into a horoscope, Scorpio. So, talking about myself. So for those of you who don't know, the spirits are with us. Michael is here as well. A while ago, my Michael spirits said to us, we are the Edible Spirit Collective. We are a collective of creative being expressing ourselves through you. You all are a part of that Edible Spirit Collective as well, because you all are here. So welcome and thank you for participating in this. Thank you for participating in this collective healing format. This is how this is designed, okay? So the run of show for this evening is we're going to talk a little bit about the new moon in Cancer, which occurs tomorrow, Monday, at around 1:32 Eastern time. Yeah, you can do all that other math. That's not happening. 1:32 Eastern time, new moon in Cancer, right before we dip into Leo season a couple days later. So for those of you who have been working with us, we've been doing reparations readings. We're still doing reparations readings. Those are free for Black people and people of color. Those are half-hour sessions, which you can schedule through ediblespirit.com. And for those of you who have been booking private sessions, which we've also opened up for you to be able to do private 30 and 60-minute aura picks. We haven't done a group session in a couple weeks, but we did one a couple weeks ago. That was exciting. We're still offering all those things. If you've done that in the last couple months, we've probably talked about Cancer season dipping into Leo season, going from cardinal water into fire, okay, into what's it called? Fixed fire, right? Yeah. Okay. So we are going to give you a wonderfully Walter Mercado inspired zodiac moment today with horoscopes for all of the signs, a la Edible Spirit. Each one of these horoscopes will have an affirmation with it. Stick with it. We're going to go through all of these. So if you need to, have a glass of something or relieve yourself of something else, you're very welcome to. And just make sure you tune in for your sign. Okay. Starting with Aries. Aries, it's time to apply what you've been learning about the relationship between your most private, intimate self and who you are in the world. The one who needs security and gentle care is the same person as the one who wants to dominate in the world. So nurture your most dominant self and dominate your most nurturing self. Fortunately, Mercury retrograde has schooled you regarding what you need to feel at home, both in your space, in your family, and in your body. So be bold in going for whatever you need to move past insecurities that have defined you for too long. Leo season from July 22nd to August 22nd is the perfect time to burn brighter with zero fucks given. Approximately zero, approximately no fucks given. Sound good? We like that. Okay. Your affirmation for this 2-week cycle, because this new moon will apply for the next 2 weeks. It's a pattern, a harmonic that initiates very intimate, immediate changes, right? Our guest tonight is Roseanne Grace, who is working some next level frequencies, honey, okay? But what we're talking about right now is lunar, is very intimate, is very close. So think of the moon as sort of a wonderful buffer to all of those cosmic energies, focusing them into new moon and full moon cycles that can kind of give us something to sink our teeth into. I used to not be able to process that because it just changed too much. And I was like, just tell me what I need to do for a month and let it be over with. But these 2-week cycles, when a day feels like a year and a year feels like 10, 2 weeks, it's a long time. You can do a lot of work in 2 weeks. So just remember that this applies for that. So the Aries affirmation, I am myself, courageously authentic, now and forever. Okay, that's your affirmation. I am myself, courageously authentic, now and forever. If you were a snack, Aries, you would be a spicy fruit salsa, refreshed with mint or basil, okay? So everybody's gonna get a little one of those, and don't worry, we'll zoom through them now. Taurus, what if the ideals that you've been reaching for became your foundation suddenly, right? What if you started every action, every day from a place of optimism, knowing that your aspirations are possible? If you've been on a quest for understanding, seeking wisdom, clarity, and confidence in your hopes and dreams, now is the moment to let your mind change once and for all. The world you envision is not a mirage. It exists, if only in your mind. And still, this envisioning is a necessary part of making things practically better. The next step is to use your words. Start talking about what you want to create, and trust that even if you don't know why you are pursuing something or where the motivation is coming from, if you set your sights high and stay hopeful, everything will come together. Your affirmation, Taurus, I am confident that my ideals are taking form, okay? And if you were a snack, you'd be a superfood trail mix full of golden berries and goji berries and mulberries and maca and chaka and everything you could possibly imagine, a new take on an old classic, okay? You were a snack, you'd be superfood trail mix, okay? Okay, Gemini. Please, and everybody, comment, send text here if you're like, woo, 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 because this is our first time doing a full-on horoscopian transperience, okay? Gemini. It seems that you have a deeper appreciation of your resources, that which you consider valuable both within you and around you, okay? Hopefully this is transforming how you as an individual relate to the collective, while helping you to move through fears or resistance around being you in the middle of everyone else. Now that you have a better sense of what you're working with on the inside, it might behoove you to make a commitment to change the way you work with the outer tangible resources that you have available. Save time and energy by prioritizing projects and tools that could potentially spread some of the love and the light that you've discovered or cultivated within yourself. This may not seem like a big deal, but everyone needs all the medicine they can get right now. So if it works for you, it will probably work for someone else. Just don't be pushy about it. Nobody likes taking medicine. So add a spoonful of sugar whenever possible. Your affirmation, dear Gemini: I am respectfully and compassionately sharing what works for me with others. Okay, talk it out. If you were a snack, dear Gemini, you'd be an overnight oats buffet bowl. Hot or cold, dairy or non-dairy, whatever works for you and your personal preferences, with an array of your favorite fruits, jams, and crunchy toppings. DIY, customization. We like that. Geminis definitely like that. Okay, Cancer. Does trying to do your job feel like it's the fight of your life? Quite simply, this is because you are not who you used to be, though you may only just be figuring out how and why. Pay attention to how you feel about yourself, what you like and what you don't like, and please be honest. You've got to reach a critical mass of confidence in what's working for you in order to have the breakthrough that you've been hoping for. This means you need to figure out what to love about yourself, even if it feels unfamiliar. Try trusting something with all of your big, beautiful heart. If you share this through intimate conversations with your most trusted relations, their feedback and reflection should help you to see what's real, at least for long enough for you to come to believe it. Long-term plans are probably not going to be helpful right now. Your challenge is to be this person as you are now in the world and in your mind without pretending to be someone else. Don't worry about how to make things happen. If you can sustain a feeling of new, scary, daring authenticity for long enough, you will suddenly realize that you are already who you always wanted to be. Already. Your affirmation is, I am who I always wanted to be. Nice thing about affirmations is if you don't believe them, say them, and say them over the course of the next couple of weeks until you do believe them, until they do land, until they do resonate, okay? If you were a snack, dear Cancer, you'd be an epic, weird-ass smoothie, refreshing and nourishing, and full of strange ingredients that you don't stop adding until it tastes just right. Even if nobody else wants to drink it, even if nobody's interested in drinking you beautiful, big, delicious smoothie, you're still a snack. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Okay, so Cancer, that's where we've been too for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm sorry, the last 4 weeks really. Leo, Gemini, Capricorno, right? Oh, can't, too good. Been feeling them all over. Okay, Leo, this new moon feels potentially disorienting for you, dear Leo, so try to stay level-headed. You're gonna get one more Cancerian download during this new moon regarding what you need and how to nourish yourself before we go blazing into the rising temperatures of Leo season. So don't jump the gun. Listen to subtle body wisdom, even if all you wanna do is raise hell. Ask your very cells what they need. Ask your heart, ask your mind, and then set about gathering that medicine like so many little pouches. Then spend Leo season boldly applying the medicine, giving yourself what you need, even if you feel like you're ready to move on. I'm a Leo, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready, right? No, there's a long, tedious road ahead. Don't we all know it? We're all trying to pretend like there's not, but there's a long, tedious road ahead. So you might as well get used to doing the work. Yeah, taking responsibility now means the long road becomes very enjoyable. And then you get to have all the fun in the world later, even as you continue to do what's best and what's right for you and the greater good. Okay. Your affirmation is, I am taking responsibility for my well-being. So keep working on yourself. Keep working even if you feel bored and fidgety. If you were a snack, dear Leo, you'd be a paleo bowl. Nourishing, dense, nutrient-rich, maybe a little boring for your taste, but serving you food as delicious fuel. I love paleo bowls, you know, but sometimes you're like, eating a lot of carrots right now, whole bunch of carrots, some meat. But it's good for you and grounding, nourishing, okay? Okay, Virgo. Oh, I have Virgo rising. Love me some Virgos. It's easy to feel like you've missed your chance at love, at life, at everything, but that's just not true. You've just had to learn a lot about how to get your nutrients from the world and the people, places, and things within it. It's okay to find yourself through others, but be careful that you're not attributing your successes to them. Remember, they are catalysts or characters in your narrative, but you are the main event. There's big mojo available to you now if you're brave. You may not be wrong about what or who you perceive as holding you back, but you will eventually just have to move on, move forward, and not care about how you're seen. Don't be deluded or distracted by past setbacks. You can have more fun, more challenges, and more complete transformations, but you got to come out of your shell. Never or now. Your affirmation, dear Virgo, is I am brave and playful as I break free, okay? And if you were a snack, you'd be a hand pie or a hot pocket with a spicy curry filling, beige on the outside, but multi-dimensionally flavorful when you say fuck it and take a bite and get inside. Okay, Libra, dear sweet Libra, how you do one thing is how you do everything. How you deal with relationships is how you deal with the world. Does that make sense? It's a micro macro thing, but super intense right now because what you've learned about yourself in relationships, strengths and weaknesses, is what you need to deal with in order to embody your fullest potential in society, right? In your calling, in your career, in your craft, right? And what you do in the world. Once more, how you deal with one person is how you deal with the world at large. So be meticulous and have any uncomfortable conversations in relationships that are giving you agita. If you can't have the conversation, write out a dialogue about what's really going on from your point of view. It's weird because you seem to know exactly how major you are while somehow remaining uncertain if you or the world can actually handle that magnitude. Revisit old relationships in your mind, including with mommy and daddy, and retell the story if needed. You probably don't want to try to revive an old flame, but you might have to look back and within to figure out how best to move forward. Consider that you know better now, and then figure out your past mistakes so you can commit to not making them again, okay? Your affirmation is, I am examining and adjusting my relationship to others and to the world at large. And if you were a snack, you'd be a classic retro blue plate special, but with gourmet condiments. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes with like a ramp pesto or a homemade spicy ketchup of some sort, okay? Okay. Scorpio, dear Scorpio, are you talking more than you're listening? If not, great. If so, be quiet, be open, be a beginner. Act like you know nothing, especially if you think you figured something out, and see what you absorb then. What prayer are you compelled to offer to the world? Because these are the only words worth uttering at this time. It seems that you've gotten some kind of a handle on the big picture that feels out of reach for a lot of people at this time. Are you doing what needs to be done in your day-to-day in order to make this vision a reality? The changes you want to see in the world must start in your daily practice. So please apply your energy in the direction of overcoming the impulse to be nasty or neglectful towards yourself and others. Yeah, this is a never-ending practice, so try to enjoy the process. If you look more deeply into what you're learning, you may realize that you're ready to teach the information to those with ears to hear it. Okay. Your affirmation is, I am honoring the knowledge I've acquired and taking responsibility for its power. If you were a snack, you'd be a sattvic, vegan, chia seed and content parfait, indulgent and delicious, but ultimately made of highly vibrational seaweeds and their magical essences. I like that one. There was a delicious content parfait that they used to have at the Angelica Kitchen on 12th Street in New York City. That was like, there's nothing in this. It's like sweetened with fairy dust, you know, love that. Okay. Sagittarius, are you having to wear your big person pants all the time? Does it feel like you're the only adult in the socially distanced room? Well, good, because you're a boss, whether you want to be or not. Aren't you ready to move on from childish things? I hope so, because it feels like you're moving into a moment of newness and possibility. The cost was just, dismantling all pedestals and platforms that you may have put others on, which were really just brilliant ways of making yourself feel less than, so you didn't have to step up. Oh, well, all the structures are shattering and melting all over the world. But your optimism is so needed right now, especially since your head seems to be sitting squarely on your significantly more responsible and independent shoulders. It's time to let go of your heroes. You are the super person. Keep your vibe high by pushing forward with the certainty that you are that bitch. Your affirmation in this lunar cycle is, in fact, I am that bitch. Say it till you believe it. Tell me that's not magic. If you were a snack, you'd be a really high fiber, healthy version of an Italian classic, like lentil pasta with turkey or tofu or mushroom bolognese. Indulge responsibly, then take a big dump and keep going. Capricorn. Capricorno. Don't try to talk yourself out of knowing what you need to feel safe and secure. You're not exactly known for being the most adventurous. So why start now? Show your bravery by sticking to your guns for the time being, even if it feels like you're moving against the current. How do you speak to yourself on the daily? Are your thoughts as loving as they could be? This contributes greatly to your overall vibration. If you can figure out when and why you started being nasty to yourself, it should give some insight into what you do and don't need in a partner, romantic or otherwise. But first, practice giving yourself what you couldn't back then by speaking to yourself now with a voice that you didn't have access to back then. What is the voice you needed to hear back then? Make sure your thoughts match up, okay? This is not theoretical. At the very least, this process will tell you more about how to actively love yourself. You seem to be approaching a new level of comfort with symbiosis, ready to let more in long term. Practice being the partner you desire, and you stand a much greater chance of finding them in your life, either as a new person or an existing relationship that suddenly seems to measure up to your exacting standards. Of course, it could just be within you, but this feels like something else. Your affirmation is, I am defined by how I am with myself and all my relations. And if you were a snack, you'd be a vintage candy bar with a whole new generation of fans. Okay. All right. Aquarius. What a long row you've been hoeing. Don't pretend like you're not exhausted. That brave face of yours belies some inner turmoil, which is fine. There's turmoil freaking everywhere. The trick is to notice your behavior. Do your actions feel like they're at cross purposes with your motivations? Analyze the actions. Attempt to eradicate toxic, repetitive behaviors. Your worth is not in your ability to avoid the truth, but rather to rebel against it in hopes of creating something new and better. Hold yourself and others accountable for being their best. Call people out when they act a fool, but most importantly, call your damn self out when you're being an idiot, okay? Be on guard for spastic bouts of obsession and compulsion, and then be compassionate. Look for the source of your neurosis as best you can and aim higher, do better. Acknowledge any mental health issues that you've left unaddressed for too long, because they will probably point to the neurotic patterns that keep you feeling imbalanced. Remember that doing this work is not just good for you, but for everyone. Your affirmation is, I am upholding a high standard, practically and in my ideals. Practically and in my ideals. If you were a snack, you'd be a nourishing if mild flavored Japanese stew with kabocha squash, mountain yams, and burdock, with a lovely side of fermented pickles, because your gut is in your brain is in your gut. Your gut is in your brain. This gut is in this brain, definitely. Okay. Pisces, you might have to look deeply into the horror to reset your vision. Some say you're too dreamy, but aren't you just hoping for the best? And yet even optimism seems out of reach at the moment. Maybe you're still not appreciating how strong you've gotten and how much influence your words and actions have over others. Try betting on yourself this cycle. Presume that you have the stuff, the strength, the courage, and act like it. It seems you've learned some stuff about what you're responsible for and also what has nothing to do with you. Keep practicing not caring too much so that when it's time to activate, you can get serious, go hard, get down to business. Let yourself have fun and then get real when you have to. Just please don't twiddle your thumbs. You have more to offer than you think. Everyone feels like they're in a stew of some sort at some point. But why not stand on dry land for once? Because you're a badass and the kind of revolutionary the world needs, an agitator of the heart, okay? Your affirmation, dear Pisces, is I am clearer and stronger than I think. And if you were a snack, you'd be a big ass bowl of couscous with apricots, toasted pine nuts, and a little orange flower essence. Floury and sweet, but also crunchy and very heavy, okay? Those are the Edible Spirit scopes for this lunar cycle, okay? I love you all so much. Thank you so much for sitting through this. Oh, we have some people in the chats. Oh, we got some people hungry. We got some stuff from Dale and Tori. Everyone's getting hungry. I love it. Okay, thank you. Good. So it works. We're going to experiment with this with the duration of it. That went a little bit longer than we had hoped, but it's cool. We might not get to as many callers as we wanted. But next that's going to happen is we're going to bring in our guest. Okay, let's see. Here they come. Hey, hey, hey.
Hi, lovely.
Ooh. Hi. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I got this. Now my sound. Hold on. Let me just make sure I got my output. Looks like my output. One second. Bear with me, guys. Okay.
Gonna start your ASMR right now.
That's it. Here we go with the ASMR. Delicious. Welcome, Roseanne.
Welcome, love.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for sitting through that with all of us.
Lovely.
So I
love
want to.
it. I love you channeling Walter Mercado.
Oh, I mean, really.
I just saw it too. It's amazing.
I just realized I didn't know that I had someone to look up to all this time. You know, just didn't understand. We want the same things out of life, Walter and I.
Totally.
So I wanted to ask you here today to do this aura pick sitting with you, but also just because I want to have people join me here that are inspiring, that are making magic, that are doing healings, that are cosmically queer in some sort of magical way. And I was blessed enough to have a quantum hypnosis healing therapy session with Roseanne the other day that I'm telling you, find her on Instagram, go to her website, check it all out, because it connected something inside of me that I really needed connected. But the most amazing part about it was that she's a masterful healer, because she got so deeply into my psyche, and yet I was still able to leave the session feeling like I had done the healing with myself. Like it wasn't something that I owed to her or something that she did to me, that it was something that was so deliciously facilitated. So will you just share with us a little bit about what you do and how you would describe it before we get into doing your aura pick?
Beautiful. Absolutely. And thank you for that delicious feedback, because that is exactly my purpose and my goal. I say we're all masters and we're all healers and we're all gurus, and we just forgot in playing this human game. And so through many years of my own suffering and multiple deaths, I was able to work directly with Source in connecting those pieces and parts. So I work through your inner child, I work through your higher self, if it's your galactic aspects, but really this point of consciousness here heals all points of consciousness. So I love to work with the inner child, and you become the rightful parent. They already see you as divine mother, father, God, goddess. They only care about you. They don't give a crap about your partners, your relationship, your families, your clients, your employees, your friends. Only you matter to them. And bringing my clients in divine reunion with those other pieces and parts, that's true soul integration. And I say they are the bouncers at the club. They hold the keys to the kingdom. You want access to the divine. I didn't know I had this kind of access. It was because I was willing and dedicated my time, my years, my life to liberating those parts. And when you liberate them, they liberate you. And then the gifts really show up. I'm getting chills just talking about them, because my inner child doesn't even talk to me anymore, because she's like, I'm done with all my stories. Peace out. She left last year, but I could still channel all of your inner children and higher selves, or your star families, whatever. But when I got into quantum healing hypnosis work, is because I wanted those behind the scenes. I was already connected with Source. I was already talking to my inner child. I wanted like what's going on, like the real deep intel. And so and it's all connected. I mean, it's just so multidimensional and such beautiful layers. But I love what Michael, aka Mikey, had said to all of his pieces and parts are complete and united. And we need that to say, if you've ever seen a Merkaba, like your higher self, human self, those are your higher self's already ready to join and meet you. We cannot sync those pieces up. We cannot integrate ourselves as those full beings if we're still running on old operating systems. And they like to use techie computer terms with me, which I find funny because I'm not. But when we're still playing those old programs or those old codes that came in with our inner child, that came in through multiple lifetimes, we cannot anchor those divine codes, those original God, goddess codes, those original plans that were set for us. They got corrupted. And so when they introduced me to the inner child years ago, they didn't show me the codes. I wasn't even ready for that. And what I did with Michael, and he's a beautiful conduit, because it is you. I'm just facilitating. It is all you.
100%.
1,000%. I just hold the space and get out of the way. His inner child was even teaching him how to clear, and I just sat back like, it's all you. I just am bridging the gap to bring all those pieces together, and then to see that beautiful, because I also go into trance with you, and I seen those beautiful codes and that crystalline energy coming in through his crown, through his heart, and all of his inner children's heart, and spiraling that out for the collective, because we're not separate. That's the biggest wound we carry. That's the biggest illusion. And
we're neither separate from each other nor from ourselves, you know.
Correct. There's no separation, none.
But
and so bringing that divinity back.
Totally. And what I loved about our session and the work that you do, that was, you know, like I said to you guys, it's this next level, multi-dimensional, infinitely cosmic, you know, if there's a genre, you know, it's within the ascension, awakening, 5-dimensional evolution. But I used to talk so much smack about that part of the subculture because I felt like it was a lot of people throwing around words that were disconnected from actual experience. And that's true, right? You've experienced that.
That's true. But there's a lot of that, yes.
But that's what I loved so much about this. And one of the core principles of Edible Spirit is that everybody's invited, right? And since we've been doing reparations readings, we've been pushing back on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, saying, obviously, you know, we need to secure the stability of the most basic levels of survival and subsistence and existence. But I just don't believe that anybody needs anything to become actualized. I think it can happen in a moment. It can happen at any moment. Fair to say?
Yes, absolutely.
But what was so powerful about this session, as Roseanne just described, sort of connecting and engaging these different parts of our being, we talk about this on Edible Spirit all the time. And it's like, it can get sort of vague and nebulous unless you know what's being spoken about. But working on this stuff with you, Roseanne, was so grounded and anchored because it was so deeply experiential, and I was left with what I really wanted to hear was so that I could share with all of you guys that I was left with a profound, secure, confident feeling of connection to source. And I always say, it's good information when you know it's true, but you don't know how you know. And it's like, there's certain things that you don't want to be true, but you hear them being said through your mouth while in a session with a practitioner. And it's just good intel. Like you said, it's great intel. It's great information that connects so many different dots in so many different ways. So that's really just what I wanted to share with everybody, which is that I've never had such a next level multidimensional experience that was so physically intimate and anchored in reality and not nebulous. You taught me about more about the inner child and the higher self and source and all this stuff. And so, I'm so grateful that you're here today and that I get to work with you a little bit.
I love it. I'm so excited to get behind the scenes here because I've seen your work, but I haven't got to participate with it like this. And so it was a beautiful invitation, and it worked out divinely as always. And I get to connect, in this way with all of you because I'm in sessions so often that I don't get to interact like publicly.
Right.
Just a lot of
it's what I love about you though, is you don't give a good gosh darn. You're not trying to amass followers. You're not trying to get anybody to buy your shit. You have an amazing space in Laguna that has float tanks and this incredible thing called the Lucia light. I didn't even think we have to talk about the Lucia light.
Yeah.
Are you open now, or are you guys closed?
We're reopening this week. So I'm actually, after we're finishing up here, I'm in the mountains right now. I'm heading back to Laguna to finish. The salt gets delivered Tuesday. The light will be private though, because we're helping a new owner take over because we're not going to stay in Laguna. We're going to be more mobile, and the light is mobile, and she is a DMT activator designed by a neuroscientist out of Austria. And it helps with activating the pineal gland, balancing the left and right brain hemispheres, and accessing more of those conscious gateways or cosmic gateways.
All the more reason to follow you and find out where it goes and where it's going, because you guys, especially from my buddies that are sober and that have not dropped acid in a really long time, you want to check space, you want to experience the decalcification of your pineal gland, you want to sit with your inner eye for a session and emerge feeling, recalibrated in the same way that a hallucinogenic experience. It really did that. And it's so gentle. And the craziest thing is it's all white lights. It's just little white lights.
Yes, but you'll see color patterns, fractals. It is helping your brain's natural production of DMT. So you are calmer. It works with anxieties. There's over 140 some programs, from high psychonautics ones to, chill ones that, just like you said, Michael, just very grounding, balancing. It's like a reset for everything.
So check that out, you guys. It's worth following. Okay, so we're going to jump over to do your aura pick. We're going to see what shows up.
I'm excited.
This is what's exciting, is that we figured out. So this is what we do when we do private sessions now. Everybody can see that on the share. We love that for us. Okay, so can you see it, Roseanne? You see it okay?
Yeah. Okay, I tried to give you a canvas.
Heaven. So this is, if anybody wants to do a private, we're doing 30-minute and 60-minute sessions. We're also doing groups where you can do 3 or more. Everybody has to send me a picture that's kind of like this so I can do what I'm about to do. Okay.
Awesome.
Not shocked. So the first thing that comes out in you is actually a blue butterfly energy. And it shows up. And they're giving it to us in terms of structures. I love this. This is very you. And then there's another one, which is this other little brush. So I'm seeing this as both a butterfly structure and Spirit makes my finger draw all sorts of stuff with this when I'm least expecting it. So I thought I was going to be using another brush, but this brush represents structures, and this color of blue represents wisdom, and specifically wisdom from the masters, wisdom from the teachers, wisdom from whomever your sources are. And this implies that there's not only a flowering of this wisdom that's coming forth and coming out of you, but that it's very stable and it's very structured. You know what you're teaching, you know where it comes from, you know how to get your next steps, you can kind of connect all the dots here. But then there's this one, which to me feels more like the flourish. Yep, that looks about right. And
Wow.
I was woo. Yeah, to me I like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that feels fair. Yes, and I love this because even I have to pay attention to that little bit on the left. There's even a little bit more growth on the left side, which says that you are expressing all of this teaching and wisdom and essence, but as you do it, you're also learning to allow in more and to receive more and to welcome in just a thicker channel. It almost sounds like you can trust more, not that you ever had issues with trust, but that there's just more of a wave to ride. Does that make sense?
I did, but yes, that absolutely is true. Divine will is my will. I don't even make any decisions on my own anymore. It's all source led. So I totally resonate with that.
And I just want to reiterate for everybody who's into this too, that what you said about the inner child was so brilliant. You said that during our session today too. You were like, my inner child doesn't even talk to me more, because you loved on her and you deferred to her. That was what I got out of the session too, to submit myself to this inner child who knows what's up, but that at a certain point, they don't even have to run interference between you and source. They do the work and then another connection's made. Fair?
Yeah. Beautifully said.
Okay, major. I love this. And then the other thing that shows up is this pink color, which is connected to spirit guides and to ancestors. And they're doing this sort of, no, that's too big. They're doing this sort of, it almost feels like an MRI, like a scan, like your spirits are working with you in a strong way, helping you to, see, that got to get it even smaller. Helping you to, oh, I see what it is. Helping you to clear. Oh, and there's also some Kundalini there. Very much so. And it's stopping at a really specific place. It's stopping at your hands, and it's stopping just at the top of the solar plexus. And my gut says here that this is ancestral energy, yes, guide energy, but especially ancestral energy, even from several generations back. Yeah, see, I'm getting that there's 2 or 3 generations back, 3 or 4 generations back, and then really, really old, ancient, ancestral guides that feel like they are assistants who assisted you when you were doing big work in one of the ancient civilizations. And these entities and energies are working with you to really cleanse and clear from the solar plexus down, and to raise the vibration of some of these lower centers, because it feels like they're being called upon for new work in the world. Like you're going to need your kidneys and your guts and your hormones and everything to be very nicely balanced, because it does feel, oh, you said this, but I'm just going off the thing. It feels like you're going to hit the road a little more, like you're going to be a little more mobile, even in these wacky dacky times,
I do.
Okay, good. And then, let's see. There's this lovely wisdom center that is, oh, interesting. So I got to give it to you here. So it's this wisdom center that's showing up in your upper centers, way high. This looks to be like 8th, 9th chakra. This is why you sent such a big canvas too, where this color of purple,
is that why?
Yeah, this is why. This color of purple is a kind of transforming energy, but there's some of the pink in there. So I would just actually say that this color of purple implies a fundamental transformation, a total change, a shedding of a total skin. And in this case, we're talking about like the 8th and 9th chakras, which, I don't work with all the time, but when I have, they're soul star, soul and soul star kind of source chakras, right? Big connections to source. And this is saying that it's just, You know, I just got to give it to you straight. It's saying that lovingly expect your world to be rocked, expect your vision to be blasted out, expect like, it almost feels, I've known you for probably only about a year now, but it sort of feels like as cool and intense as things have been for you, that there's a whole nother octave of connection dropping in and coming down for you, that the pinkiness of this says, don't worry, it's not just source or spirit changing. There are helpers in spirit working with you to stabilize and harness the power of those changes, so that your system can really just keep up with you, and so that the structures of wisdom that you have to teach and to share can continue to flourish and flower and express themselves in the world.
Gorgeous.
Okay, so again, I have to honor this practice, this process. I mean, that's your aura pick. Not shocked. Most people have a lot of yellow and orange and red and green and all of these, you know, quote unquote lower. I don't like higher lower distinctions, but they can sometimes be useful for understanding. And in this case, it just makes sense, you guys. Like, unless you have been practicing multidimensional quantum healing techniques for many years, you know, you will probably have a bunch more different colors in your aura picks. These are very like soul-based, spirit-based, wisdom-based, teaching-based things. And I promise you, I've been doing these picks for a long time. I'm not trying to fluff you, Roseanne. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you're so multidimensional and amazing.
Yeah.
This is what you're vibrating. This is what I'm sensing as you vibrating. Okay.
Thank you for channeling. It's gorgeous. And I have to say, to confirm what you've delivered or what has been channeled and gifted through you, I use those actual colors in clearing big stuff. And I didn't know where they were just given, but I do. I have a dragon pink fire and Saint Germain's violet flame, which I actually envision more of a blue violet. It's not a lavender violet. And then magenta came in, you know, some years ago, just as that divine guidance. So I'm in love with this. I already took a screenshot. Thank you.
I'm so glad. Okay. Yes. And I will send this to you when we're done too. So,
Awesome.
So thank you so much for sitting with that. You guys, please reach out to Roseanne. We're going to actually come through and call on a few of you, and I'm going to stay plugged in with my spirits. And we will give you maybe a little read if any of you guys have any questions. Let's see. I presume that everybody's kind of ready for this or wants a reading, but maybe if you do want a reading or if you have a question, just there's like a wave or something, or text us or something. Otherwise, I'm just going to start calling on you. And I don't know if you guys want that.
Oh, Emma's waving.
Okay, good. Yay. Okay, wait. Who do we got?
And Riam.
Great. We got Norm. Thank you. So wait, you said Emma first. So let's go to Emma.
That was an actual physical hand. I'm not really fast.
I love that. No, I'm into that. Let's call in Emma. Oh, is this?
Hi, Mikey.
Hi.
It's so great to talk to you. Hi.
You too. Thank you so much for joining and for sitting for a read. Is there anything that you want to ask about, or anything you're interested in hearing about or finding out about today?
Yeah, I think something that Roseanne sort of spoke on just sort of resonated with me and took over whatever other questions I had planned.
Ideal.
And it's this, magical. It's sort of the idea of just indecision, that like I find myself always looking for what is the best way to make decision, what is the most effective way to connect to what's best for me. How do I know? Do I journal about it? Do I think of a certain phrase every time? How do I best connect to what is best to my higher self in a way that feels sort of consistent, that I can kind of come back to trust that I'm making good decisions for me?
I love this. And I'll tell you in a bit, and then I definitely want Roseanne to weigh in on this and answer this question fundamentally. What I'll tell you is actually less of a read and more so the framework that I try to use in making decisions, because I used to be terrible at it. It's really a proposition of the head and the heart, where you are gathering information based on the head, right? Gathering information, talking to people, learning things, but ultimately making the decision based on the standard that's within your heart. I always call the heart the keeper of that standard, the standard of truth, the standard of what's right. I've also said the only truths worth